if you read the article, and I haven't given you a chance to do so, Connor Orr gets even more specific. It's not just that the Niners can go on without Jimmy G. It's he lists 5 quarterbacks in the NFL that the Niners potentially would be interested in or would be a good fit on the Niners. He also says if the 49ers continue to lose, they could draft a guy. And if they're in position to take someone they like, they could draft a guy. But if they don't, 5 veterans, Connor Orr listed. I'll list them right here. Of course, Kirk Cousins is 1. Matt Ryan is 2. Sam Darnold is 3. Dak Prescott is 4. And Derek Carr is 5. Now, keep in mind, this article was written on November 5th. Things have changed. Who knows if Derek Carr is available? But he did point out that the Raiders were trying to get Tom Brady. He didn't want to go there. And the Raiders wanted to get Kyler Murray. They didn't have a chance. John Gruden doesn't really seem very happy with Derek Carr. There's kind of a similarity between that relationship and the relationship between Jimmy and Kyle Shanahan. Anyway, I think it's interesting. If we're assuming, I'm not going to say it, but if we're assuming what we're assuming, then these 5 names are very interesting, and we should keep them in mind. It seems to me Kyle Shanahan thinks any quarterback who has a choice would want to come to the 49ers because of the run game, because of the defense, because of that right tackle, who's really not as bad as everyone. Why is everyone so hard on the right tackle? It's ridiculous. It's all Nick Mullen's fault, right? That's what I heard. No, so Kyle Shanahan clearly thinks any quarterback would want to come here. And the one that I think is interesting is Dak Prescott. Let's rank them. First, before we talk about if any of them are realistic, let's rank them, and not in terms of value, just in terms of ability. Let's take the contracts out of it, and then we'll talk about contracts after. Cousins, Darnold, Ryan, Prescott, Carr. How do we rank that? I would go Prescott, 1, even with the broken leg. 2, Carr. 3, Cousins, and not with any enthusiasm. 4, Ryan. Voice cracked. 4, Ryan, because he's getting old. And 5, Sam Darnold, because I don't like him. I think he's a loser. Guy can't win a game. So that's the way I see it. Would you guys agree with that? Prescott 1, Carr 2. 3, Cousins. 4, Ryan. Is that fair? He didn't say Stafford, which is interesting. Okay, so we agree on that. I always thought Dak Prescott would be too expensive for the 49ers. I mean, it seemed like he wanted $40 million from Dallas. If the Niners could get him for what they're paying Jimmy Garoppolo, I would be down. I'd be all for that. If they could get Dak Prescott for $27 million a year, and Dak says, you know what? I don't want to be on Dallas. This team stinks. The coaches stink. I don't like Mike McCarthy. You got my leg broken. I have to do too much here. Let me go to San Francisco, hand the ball off, play for Kyle Shanahan, have my life be so much easier. I'll even take a little less to go to San Francisco. I don't know if Dak Prescott would do that. In fact, I don't think he would. But if he did, that would be wow. I mean, Dak Prescott to me is a lot like Steve Young. Maybe that's a little too much. But I really think Dak Prescott's really good. I think he's been carrying that Dallas team for years. And when people knock him, it's really they're knocking the team, not him. He carried that team. Love Dak Prescott. If they could get him, that would be a power move. See you, Jimmy. Derek Carr, I would also prefer him to Jimmy Garoppolo. He throws a better football. He protects himself better. He's more mobile. All of that. So, yeah, Derek Carr. Kirk Cousins, I don't know if he'd be available. And honestly, rather than get Kirk Cousins, he'd be fine. I would rather have Kyle Trask on a rookie deal than Kirk Cousins, honestly. And I like Kyle Trask. I like Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, Matt Ryan, Sam Darnold, I think the Niners would be better off drafting a guy at that point. But if they could get Carr or Prescott for a reasonable price, and what's interesting is, hold on, I believe, real quick, the NFL's next round of TV rights, according to an article here, could lock in more than $100 billion in income for the league over the next 10 years. So if you sign a quarterback now, that contract might look real cheap and affordable in a couple of years if the salary cap spikes because of this new TV deal. Next year, the cap's going down. But if you get a quarterback for like 22, 23 million a year in 2-3 years, that could be like 8% of your cap or something crazy. So you don't want to pay too much for quarterbacks, but the salary cap is going to be in crazy fluctuation. $100 billion in revenue for the league. That could change things. So, yeah, Derek Carr, Dak Prescott, come on down. I'm thinking the Niners would like them to take some type of a discount, but I don't think you get players to do that when you're coming off a 5-11 season or whatever the Niners are going to be. So it'll be interesting to see who they can keep. I just don't think they keep Jimmy because of what this says right here. Kyle clearly thinks he can win without him. 8 passing attempts. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm speculating here. Let me stop speculating. I'm speculating. That's what I'm doing. So I'm going to stop. But I think Jimmy's gone. What do you think? Dak had the best line and wide receivers and still couldn't get to a Super Bowl. Yeah, well, he didn't have Kyle Shanahan. Your favorite coach. He didn't have Kyle. How about that? I know you guys like Kyle. Come on. The Kyle Shanahan effect. So I'm not saying they're going to get one of those starters, but it seems to me that the attitude might be, if Richmond Flowers is any indication, that the Niners have any number of options and it's easy to replace Jimmy Garoppolo. There's 5 guys at least in the league right now and probably 5 guys in the draft. See you later, alligator.